Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is the sixth video of security testing series. In this video, we are going to learn about one of the most important tools, which is also called Swiss knife of security testing because it offers so many features. The name of this tool is Burp Suite. So without further delay, let's get started. Burp Suite is a tool provided by Portswigger, and there are three different versions of this tool. We have a community version, professional version, and enterprise version. Community version is free and will do the work in most of the cases. If you want to perform VAPT, then you can quickly start with community version and still find good vulnerabilities. Remember, the efficiency of the tool is one thing, and the skills and the concept knowledge of its user is another thing. A professional version is paid one and it costs around $300 per year. The license provided by them is per user per machine. This is faster than like community version, which is but obvious, and it does provide some additional features such as it allows you to save your projects. In community version you cannot save your project. It provides collaborator, which is a really good feature, and it provides click bandit and many extensions. Like there are many features along with some extensions which can be only used with professional version. Then we have the enterprise version, which is the most costly one, and the cost ranges between like $8,395 to $35,350. For the purpose of this video, I will be using the community version because that's a version which most of you will be using. Let's start with the installation first. The installation is super easy. You just need to download the binary according to your operating system and follow the on-screen instructions. So there's a jar file also available. Let me show it to you. If you go to this products, then you get to see all the three options available here: the enterprise version, the professional version, and the community version. So just click on community version and then you can click on go straight to downloads. After coming over here, if you click on the drop down menu, okay. So for some strange reason, the download, this screen recorder is not recording this particular drop down. So I'll just add a screenshot. So you get an option to download the binary for Windows, Mac OS, Intel chipset, Mac OS M1 chipset, and also the Linux one. However, you also get a jar file. So I will be using a jar file for the demo purpose of this video. So just click on download and your download will be done. So if you have downloaded a jar file, then you just have to open a terminal and go to the location where that jar file is saved and type java jar xmx2g. Now you can provide 1G, 2G, or 4G. So here 2G means 2 GB of RAM, 1G means 1 GB of RAM, and 4G means 4 GB of RAM. So you are basically telling how much RAM the Burp Suite must use. So like it is recommended that your system should have 8 GB of RAM at least, but in most of the cases 4 GB of RAM is also sufficient, but make sure that you provide only 1 GB of RAM if your system has 4 GB of RAM, or if your system has 8 GB of RAM, then you can also provide 2 GB or 4 GB of RAM too. Like you can allocate that particular that much RAM to Burp Suite. So after that, just simply type your Burp Suite jar file name, hit enter. And then Burp Suite has started. Just close this thing. Okay. So as I was telling you, there's no option to save project in community version. So you'll have to make use of this temporary project. Click on next. Click on start Burp. And what you see right now is the dashboard screen of Burp Suite here. So this is the dummy list of issues which you are seeing right now. Like this particular feature is available only in the pro version. So what happens is when you are using a pro version, there is a passive scanner which is running as you are using the application. So it automatically detects certain vulnerabilities, and those vulnerabilities are listed over here. So this is kind of a marketing strategy from Portswigger that so that you like this particular thing, because this is a really good feature, this passive scanner, and you might go for or might go and purchase their like professional version. So before we proceed further, what actually happens when you're using Burp Suite is it acts as a proxy between your browser and the application server. So whatever traffic your browser is sending, it will go through the Burp Suite and then it will reach the application server. Similarly, any traffic or any response which you will get from the application server will go through Burp Suite and then it will finally reach your browser. So since in the middle we have Burp Suite, we can intercept the request that is going from your browser and modify its value, and also intercept the response that you are getting from the application server and modify the value. So this interception and modification of request and response helps us in uncovering many issues. We will see an example of this in the later part of the video. So before you can start using the Burp Suite, first thing you have to ensure is go to the proxy tab, go to the options tab, and ensure that you have this particular value over here. After that, open your Firefox. You will have to integrate or make Burp Suite work with Firefox browser. They have a inbuilt browser which we will cover later, but let's see how we can like integrate or how we can make Burp Suite to work with uh, Firefox. So just go over here, click on settings, type network, go to network settings, and click on this particular this option, manual proxy configuration, and type 127.0.0.1 and port 8080. Basically you can provide any port number over here, but just ensure that no other application is like running on this particular port number, and also ensure to click this particular checkbox and then click on OK. Now what we have done is we have like configured a browser to work with Burp Suite. So any traffic, be it your application that you are accessing or be it any of the extension which is there on the Firefox browser, any traffic that they will be sending will be going to the Burp Suite. So that's why you are getting to see this particular request over here. So let me just do this, put it side by side. Okay. And here's my Firefox. Okay. First, turn off the interceptor. I'll tell you what this button do, what interceptor is. For example, there's an application which is deliberately made vulnerable so that security people can work on it and like practice their skills. That website is testphp.web.com. So before we hit enter, just click on this button. Right now it says intercept is off. That means Burp Suite will not intercept any traffic, or it will not capture any traffic. Now intercept is on, so any traffic that our browser will send will get intercepted by Burp Suite. So just now click over here and press enter, and you can see this traffic was intercepted by the Burp Suite. So if you click on forward button, now our website is open. Similarly, if you will click on categories, again the request for accessing the categories page is intercepted over here, and if you click on forward button, now you finally the page is loaded over here. Similarly, click on artists, again it is intercepted, click on forward button, and again now you are able to see the artist page. So consider this intercept button as a gate. When any traffic will like go from your browser, it will stop at this particular gate. And if you will, for example, if you click on disclaimer, the traffic is stopped at the gate. When you click on forward button, that means you have opened the gate and allowed only that particular request to pass through, and again the gate will close, and any subsequent request coming after will have to be analyzed and will have to be allowed by clicking on forward button. You can also turn off the interceptor by clicking over here and like explore the application, click on guest books, again click on home page, or click on sign up, or do anything, and the Burp Suite won't intercept that traffic. But it does not mean it is not keeping a track of all these things that you're performing. If you'll go to this target, then you can see you try to access certain pages and all those are listed over here. You try to access signup.php, then we also did some other pages over here. So everything is like intercepted, sorry, everything is captured, although nothing is being intercepted. So that is the functionality of this particular intercept button, intercept on or intercept off. Suppose I have turned this thing intercept on and I want to log in. Test. Suppose although it is mentioned over here that the username is test and password is test, but I don't know the password. So let's just type 1234 and click on login. Now we have intercepted the login request. Now I want to try different things, different values for the password. So I'll right click over here and select send to repeater. Now under the repeater tab, the request which was sent by me is like you can see it over here. Now I want to try, let's see what is the, okay, first turn this thing off, back to repeater, and let's click on send. So you get a response that you must log in. So that means this password is incorrect. I'll do 12345 and again it says you must log in. Okay, what if I type password, you must log in. So it is very much clear that you can play a request repeatedly. Like you can modify the request and like check its response, or without any modification also you can click on send and check the response. So repeater, as the name suggests, you can play a request repeatedly. Now there's one more module that I would like to show it to you. That is Intruder. Right click on any request and click on send to Intruder. Intruder, it's somewhat similar to repeater, but we can automate things over here. Okay, so you can see that just like this symbol over here, and it is also highlighted. That means these two values are added as a payload location or the payload positions. This is where our values will be passed on. Let me click on clear. Now everything is clear, and this is where I want to try different values. So I'll select it and click on add. So now this only password value is selected as the payload position. I'll go to the payload and provide different values for the passwords. So 1234, 12345, ABCD, QWER, hello, testing. Uh, Now in between, I'll also pass my correct password, which is test, and then it will be test1234, test12, test@1. So we have provided total 10 payload counts. Now I'll click on start attack, and you get to see a like warning over here, which simply says that it's whatever you are sending is time throttled, and some of the functionality is disabled because you are using a community version. Just click on OK, and it is sending the request one by one. For 1234, you get to see a response. You must log in. For hello, you again see here you can see in password hello is inserted, and the response you're getting, you must log in. You also get to see the status code of these requests and the length of the response that you have received from the application server. For the correct value, you can see the status is 200, and there's also a difference in the length. It's 6211. So once you are like running the intruder for multiple values, say for 500 values or 600 values, then you can identify if there's any difference with the status code or with the difference in the content length of the response which you have received from the server. So if you notice that we were accessing a HTTP site, this is a HTTP site. Let's try to access a HTTPS site, and our favorite HTTPS site is google.com. Okay, now we are not able to access the google.com. It says that software is preventing Firefox from safely connecting to this site. Now, what is the reason for this? The reason is when we talk about HTTP, HTTPS, it is secure HTTP connection. But we have a man in the middle, like all your traffic that is it is going through your Burp Suite. It is not secure. It is not directly your browser and the application server is not directly communicating. So there's a entity in between this communication. This is why you're not able to access any HTTPS site, be it Facebook, be it Twitter, any HTTPS site you won't be able to access. So does that mean we cannot test the HTTPS site when we are using the Burp Suite? No, that's not the case. we can access HTTPS site, but for that we'll have to perform some additional steps. We need to introduce a certificate which permits we are authorizing. You can access the HTTPS sites, and you can communicate with the HTTPS site. Whatever is there in between, we are authorizing it to intercept it. So, in layman terms, this is what we are doing when we are like introducing a certificate or when we are installing a certificate. So, how can we install a certificate? For that, you will just have to go to HTTP and type burp. You will like observe this page. You will notice this page, and you just click on this CA certificate, and your certificate is downloaded. Now, again, go to this settings. Type certificate, view certificates, and click on import, and just select this thing, click on open, trust this CA to identify website, check this one as well, and click on OK. And if you will just scroll down, you will notice an entry for ports figure. Click on OK. Okay, let me again try to access rather just do this, and we are able to access it. So if I let me just close this thing. So if I intercept it, and you know one thing, when we are typing anything, when we are searching anything, Google start giving us the suggestions. So if I type C and click on forward over here, and you can notice the request for C is intercepted. Okay, now let me type A, and again you will see the request for A will be intercepted, but the previous request, when C was intercepted, as I clicked on forward button, I started to see the suggestion started with C. Now if I'll click on forward again, once again, and once again, now here you can see CA. If I click on forward, now CA like suggestions I have started to get. If I turn off the interceptor and I type cars, so I can see the result. So I also told you about a inbuilt browser which we have. So for that you don't have to import any certificate or do any network settings. You just click on this particular button, open browser, and the browser is open, and you can intercept the traffic without doing any settings. You can access the HTTP site and intercept the traffic, or you can also access HTTPS site. In the coming videos, I'm going to make use of Burp Suite while explaining some of the common vulnerabilities. To hit that like button if you have watched the video till here, that means you are finding it interesting and useful. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will be back with more interesting videos. Till then, goodbye and happy learning.